Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 contents. Today, we're going to be doing the official Broly comparison. The classic slash iconic character from Dragon Ball Z is going to be going up against the new iteration of Broly from Dragon Ball Super. We'll go ahead and start this comparison off with the voice dialogue. Kakarot. Obviously, more on that calmer side of things, just because do keep in mind he is in his base form, not necessarily transformed, while DBS Broly over here is undergoing his first transformation, which is known as Fury State, Wrathful State, or even Ikari, whatever you want to call it. We do have his base form in that new game mode that dropped recently with DLC Pack 20, and then we can listen to his voice over there, but obviously I can't necessarily do that comparison now because he's not playable, only the Wrathful variation. However, this is how he sounds like. Completely different. He is more enraged, so his tone is going to be a bit more deeper slash graspier. And I think even their idle stances are similar. Yeah, they both grab their head and then just scream into the abyss.
Annoying pest! I'll squash you like a bug!
What is this power? It's huge!
Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I think the new voice actor for Broly, Johnny Young Bush, voices these two iterations nowadays, right? And it's crazy how talented he is, just because literally playing the same character, but they sound completely different. DBS sounds like he's undergoing Hulk mode, which technically I guess he is, Berserk State, while again, the DBZ variant base form, more of that calmer side of things, just because the transformations obviously do have something to do with that. And going back to their idle stance, yeah, they both grab their face. You know, they have this massive headache or something, and then they just scream. Let's see if they can both do it here simultaneously. Well, that's not going to happen, but you see what I mean? Very identical. And as for the character models, obviously these guys are from the recent DLC. So what I'm trying to say is that their models are going to be superior compared to the 2016 cast character models. We have like this shadow being casted over the muscles. You see that right there, over the abs, the obliques. It's crazy. Even over the outfit, all the additional effects, something similar to this variant of Broly. You can see the shields, or not the shields, the armor kind of casting this shadow over the torso area and going over the muscles, somewhat similar there. Now the robe, obviously the green robe is from Ba's ear. If you watch the movie, that's the monster. The red robe over here, you can tell that DBZ restrains. Let's go ahead and lower the aperture. It has a bit of extra detail, right? Doesn't necessarily have the shadow effect casting over the robe, while the Z variant does. You can see all that. Even the pants, as I just mentioned. I need you guys to comment down below right here, right now. Which character do you think is superior, DBZ or DBS? And look at this. If I can have them both facing forward. Broly, don't do that right now. He's going Berserk State. Check this out. Comment down below. Who are they about to go up against? Who's in their right mind or powerful enough to go up against two different Brolys? You know what I mean? Check this out. Man. When they retcons the character, it's cool how they kind of kept some aspects from DBZ, but obviously the appearance is very different. The skin tone, the facial features, how he's kind of like down in the dumps, right? His face is a bit more gloomy. Well, again, this isn't his base form, so can't necessarily do that proper comparison, but of course there will be some similarities in terms of their skill set. They both can transform into Super Saiyan, but yeah, again, comment down below which Broly do you think is better. Not necessarily comparing the movies, you know, just the personalities, the appearances of both. Look at this, the gold that DBZ Broly fashions over here with the sapphires. Yeah, yo, he has like 20 different pieces of jewelry going on. The gauntlets, the armbands, the neckband, the necklace itself, the waists, and the earrings, as well as the omelet right there, whatever you want to call it. And the boots, while Broly, I believe, didn't he get the outfit from that one character who tagged along? It was Paragus, Broly, and like an additional Saiyan soldier, right? That is absurd. How tall is Z Broly? Again, still in his base form, because I'm pretty sure this is correct, but base DBS Broly, compared to his wrathful state, he increases tenfold, right? The Uzaru powers within him, and his height increases, muscle mass obviously increases. But Z Broly, he's like, nah, bro, I'm the same height as you, even though I'm still in my base form. You know what I mean? What are they saying right now? They're dialoguing right now. I just don't know exactly what. But DBS variant, he is slouched over slightly. You see that with his knees bent, his torso kind of bent over, while Z, he's just in this upright position, standing his ground. That's what I like to see, y'all. All right, now going over the combo strings. He's going to be doing a total of 9 hits. Dude, directly from the movie when he did that pound and ground, the stomp technique. 1, 2, 3. Hold all this. Boom. Yeah, as you can see, that default combo string is wonders in terms of player versus player matches, just because this Ki Blast does a lot of damage. And yeah, you can obviously integrate that into other strings, but that's just my go-to. So very versatile in terms of how you want to link things up, right? If you want to continue right off the bat, then do just that. So 9 hits, very brutal. As for DBS Broly over here, it's going to be a bit more enhanced just because it's from the recent DLC. Obviously, they progress, get a lot better with the strings, animations, cutscenes, stuff like that. So that was a total of 21 hits. Can't necessarily compare the output damage just because we're not in training mode. This is photo mode. However, you can easily compare the stats within the character select screen. You know, we have the strike, Ki Blast, stamina, Ki, you know, the gauges, right? So you can't compare it there. But for now, we're just doing the basics with the supers, ultimates, and combos. So he's a bit more berserk-like over here. I mean, obviously, he is in his Fury state. But you can just tell by his combo string. He keeps dashing forward. He's throwing out a ton of Ki Blast. He does the berserk punches right there and the stomping ground. Absurd. With a total of 21 hits. His final punch does a knockback, while Z Broly does the knockdown. So it's a bit easier to extend the combo strings with this character, at least in regards to the light string. Now for the heavy string, also known as the triangle. Ooh, I like that. Fancy stuff going on with the knockdown into the snap vanish. And you could probably do the same thing. Yeah, follow up with easy strings. Going over to DBS Broly. Maniac. Ooh, yeah, this one's probably a bit better just because of the additional energy blast that he does right there. Rasengan heavy knockdown. So that's also very easy to connect alternate strings, correct? Just follow up with the Ki Blast. Of course, if you're a lot closer to the ground, it'd be even easier. We have the grab. So cool. He just literally throws you around with one arm and then tosses you down towards the ground, while DBZ Broly does somewhat similar, you know, grabs you by the foot and then chucks you up into the air, and then finishes it off with that, like that, punch to the back, paralyzing the opponent. Crazy. Now we have the first input of square into triangle. Okay, 3 hits into the upward sledgehammer, while DBS Broly over here is going to knock you down towards the ground. I like how he has that string though. So once more, upward with the sledgehammer, and Broly does that as well, the DBS variant. Right there. But he follows through with that additional strike. So they both have 3 hits. Of course, you can prolong this one with the first 4 inputs of square, but somewhat the same thing, the combo finisher, right? So do that once more, the first 4, boom, and there's that. Now the first 5 inputs of square into triangle. Oh, woo! I likes that. with the lariat. Probably my favorite string from DBZ Broly. And then he quickly does the snap vanish. Paralyzes you with the knee strike. Where are you going? I ain't done with you. Ooh, so his stamina break is going to be the shoulder strike. While the other variant, so let's see how this is like. He just wells out his arm and just obliterates everything in sight, pretty much. But going back to the first 5 input of squares into triangle, let's go over here to DBS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the wrong string. That 4th input of square, where he does the multiple strikes right there, it's so prolonged, you don't even know when to use your other attack. Oh! He literally just grabs you by the head and then squeezes it. Bro, dude, he can't even think straight anymore. That's so vicious and brutal. And then, oh, that emphatic leg drop. Oh. Yeah, both these combo strings are superior in every way. You know what I mean? Oh, he does 2 down strikes right there. But let's try that once more. Misinput. Technical difficulties over here. I'm used to the DBS Broly combo. That's why. I can't even do it anymore over here as the DBZ Broly. Here it is. Boom! And then just stuns you. Now the stamina break, the heavy at least, does that forceful stomp. As for DBZ, that sledgehammer strike. I like it. And that's pretty much it for the moveset. Now going over the skills, somewhat similar because they both literally have the same attack. Gigantic charge. Paralyzes the opponent, breaks the stamina. And going over here, right back at you, Broly. How does that feel, man? And Eraser Bomb, you know, this one is pretty simple and straightforward. It just simply throws out a green energy orb. You can press the input again to push the blast. And then it just tracks down the opponent even faster. I guess it's somewhat similar to the Gigantic Cross because it's literally a small green energy orb as well, except he shoots it from his mouth. And yeah, it does 2 hits. Wait, how much did this one do? Just the 1. But you can see after the impact, after the explosion, he flies upward, right? So going back to this one, he flies upward. You can charge this, which is basically the same thing. It just increases the range of the attack as well as the blast radius. So somewhat similar there. Now we have Gigantic Cluster. The scatter energy shots. Use it up close. Capitalize on that damage. Total with 7 hits. DBS Broly doesn't have an attack. That's anything similar to that at all. But we do have Gigantic Rage, which is actually the move from Full Power Super Saiyan Broly. However, it is a bit more accurate because Wrathful Broly literally did this against God Goku. The charge ability. I don't know who decided to come up with Rising Rage for Z Broly, but somebody literally needs to give them a raise just because of how epic this charge is. So let's actually lower the key and use this charge. That's so cool with the stance, the ripple effects beneath the character. Everything about it is just peak. This is just the default one from the original game. Nothing too fancy over there. So yeah, Rising Rage definitely takes the cake in my personal opinion. Now, do keep in mind, they both have transformations, and Z Broly's transformation can actually alter his supers, which I will break down. Don't worry about that. Now going over to the Evasive Blaster Meteor. This is from the original legendary Z Broly, where he just summons that giant orb with a plethora of miniature orbs, while Super Broly, Sand Blaster, this is 10 out of 10 stuff. It's literally his transformation from the movie integrated as a super. Oh, and this is a unique detail for Wrathful Broly over here. So you probably noticed he doesn't necessarily have an aura right now. To get that aura, you use a couple of his supers. Well, maybe not Gigantic Cross, but Gigantic Charge. You see that now he emits this aura. What the heck? Since when did they start doing this? Or is this unique to Broly over here? It's like the more supers he uses, the stronger he gets. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, you know, in the actual gameplay, which I'm assuming it's not because we don't have the power-up gauge underneath the stamina gauge. It just would be cool, you know what I'm saying? If the aura slightly increases his power a little bit. Wait, let's see if Z Broly gets an aura after he uses supers. No, he doesn't. Oh, I get it though. Because, remember, this is technically a transformation. Right? Okay, so that's why. Anyway, Saiyan Blaster. Okay, so you can't do something unique with this. It has something to do with the Awoken, but we're not there just yet. Let's go ahead and use the ultimates first. So Gigantic Meteor, very, you know, basic. I say basic because it's from the legendary Z character. So it's the 2016 Ultimate. However, it does suit him extremely well. I mean, Gigantic Meteor. It's like his signature attack, right? So going over here to DBZ, this is far superior. Gigantic Nova. Gigantic Energy Blast. Perish. Yeah, you can tell the animation to it, the cutscene. It's just 10 out of 10 in every way with the facial expressions, the character animation itself, the explosion, the texture of the Energy Blast. The sound design in the backgrounds. Are you guys listening to this? Epic stuff. Now for the transformation. So you can see Gigantic Explosion, right? How it's blocked off. You can't use it. Same thing for DBZ. So they also share the same ultimate. This ultimate attack originated from DBZ Broly. They just put it over here on DBS as well. But in order to use that, you have to transform. So here's his transformation animation. 11 out of 10. No, 12 out of 10. Oh my gosh. Everything changes, bro. The hair. This is suppressed Super Saiyan, by the way, just because, obviously, of that emeralds or the headbands, you know, suppressing his power. Go ahead and do that zoom up. Look at that, directly from the movie. And then Vegeta kicked him in the face, did not even phase him. He was like, who the heck are you? He didn't even care about Frieza or any of the other, or Vegeta, or any of the other characters, right? But his skin tone slightly changes, the hair changes, obviously, to that purple/blue look. He has the bluish eyes. Dude, suppressed Super Saiyan. I think this is also known as Super Saiyan Type A or whatever. It's just underrated. More characters needs to have like their own unique Super Saiyan transformations because this is it, bro. And he's just walking forward. Nothing can stop him. Nothing. And of course he screams out Kakarot. And he's just walking up towards DBS Broly. This is an actual transformation, bro. So going over here to DBS. Animation is also a 12 out of 10. They cooked, I'm telling you, with these DLC characters, everything about them. Just great. So let's actually transform as this character first. But look at that, the explosion, the zoom up with his eyes getting all distorted and red, his pupils literally breaking because he no longer has them undergoing this transformation. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Looking up towards DBZ Broly, he's like, nah, who you think you is, bro? So something cool about the Awoken skill, we have to actually restart, my bad. You get to transform while using the Saiyan Blaster technique. Transformation animation is also very different. So, going back to the transform states, both of them really well made and movie accurate. DBS Broly, obviously, it's a bit more chaotic, more animated, I guess you could say, just because that's how it went down in the movie. And this movie dropped back, what, 1997 or something, DBZ? So it's a bit more straightforward. Yeah! Dun, 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 dun. Woohoo! Oh, what the? Wait. I'm pretty sure the height was almost the same. Had no idea that DBS Broly increases in size when he goes Super Saiyan. Whoa! That confirms it. He grew. Wait, so I wonder if the full power Super Saiyan Broly model is the same as this one, or is that one even larger? Dang! Should we do the legendary Z and Super comparisons? Let me know down below in the comments. Anyway, both transformed. Now, again, the Awoken skill does enhance the quality of his supers. So you guys remember Eraser Bomb, how it was just a miniature green orb? It's still a miniature green orb. However, the explosion of it increased tenfold. Boom! And as well as the damage, right? Going over to Gigantic Cluster. Same thing, a lot more of the Barrage Ki Blast used up close. A lot of damage. Going over here to his attacks, they stay the same. However, the Awoken does alter his combo strings. Only 2 of them. The first 5 inputs of square into triangle. He now does the mouth energy cannon and the triangle square, I believe, where he does the chest ki blast attack, and then he follows up with a multitude of punches. Now, this technique, I haven't seen the original Z Broly movie in ages, but I'm pretty sure this one also originated from DBZ Broly, right? Or something similar to it. So yeah, his transformation changes his combos, while this one, it changes his skills, right? So it's the same feature to it, I guess you could say. Now, going back to Rising Rage, set the key back to normal. Use the supers. Check out this power boost, bro. Now, I kind of gassed it up beforehand, you know, showcasing it under his base form. But this is where it shines, Rising Rage. You see that? What the heck? The ripple effects increased. The Ki Aura itself also increased. And after a certain amount of time, we have like this burst effect that can knock away the opponent if you charge up close to them. So use a bit more. Gigantic Rage. That actually depletes 2 key bars, right? So check this out. That is top tier, man. And then you can hear the sound design in the background whenever it does activate that boost. His ki is quite literally overflowing. Both these characters are cool in my personal opinion. So now for Gigantic Explosion. Both are going to have the same animations. Now, he does have the pupils, but when you use the ultimate, you can see that his pupils disappear. Going Rage mode, it's a 3 burst attack. And Z or Super Broly, same thing. Perish! Cool stuff, right? So, not only comment down below which character do you think is better, but also, in regards to the actual game, like skill set, moveset wise, which character do you think is better? This is it for today's video. Thank you guys for the immense support. Their DLC characters are just going to be getting better and better from here, my personal opinion. Chapter 4, DLC 21, going to be a great time. This is it. Thank you guys once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!